Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from everyday guy, Redonkulous guy, and welcome back to the letters. So yeah, if you thought we are done with this game, no, we are not done with this game. We are still left with the multiple roots, multiple ends of every other chapter in this game. Yeah, aka the remaining four chapters to go. I will say no, not four, six. No, not six, five. Yeah, five. Because we already got all the endings and all the roots of the first two chapters, which you can check it out. Link is in the description. And yeah, now the chapters from here on out are like the multiple routes in this game are crazy and so long. It will be like around a 3 or 4 hour video if I combine all multiple endings of one chapter and all multiple routes of one chapter, and yeah, that's gonna be crazy. So I have decided to go for multiple endings of a chapter first and then a separate video of a multiple route. Maybe I will partition that thing too, but it will be separate thing. Well, I will, to ease you guys more, I will give like, hey, if you want this ending or this route, here are the choices that you should have done in this chapter or in the previous chapters to get this and that. So yeah, as for this chapter, I guess so you don't need anything different in previous chapters to get the two bad endings in this chapter, which we luckily so did not got because the choice was little obvious though. As you remember, over here we last time around chose to keep looking for Ash. No, not keep looking for Ash. Yeah, keep looking for Ash instead of yeah, I was a little confused for a sec. We chose to keep looking for Ash, not look into it. Look into it pretty much means look into this crying going on right now, and that is into the mention, which obviously invites trouble. Yeah. So in this chapter we gotta have to choose this, and then inside this decision I guess there will come a choice where we will end up in one dead end and then other will end in another dead end. Yeah, let's see how that will go. So my decision finally, and this was very tough, is to keep looking for Ash. I'm not gonna look or more of go inside because one, Hana is dead. 2. That crying is the ghost. 3. Luke is crazy. 4. It's a better plan, I think, to choose this option, so let's go for this one. Huh. Okay. In the end, the rational part of my brain wins out, the half that has spent too much time around Ash. It's right, though the reasonable part. If I do force my way in and find something unpleasant, how am I going to fight back? With my camera? No matter where you look at it, that's simply asking for a painful death.
I have a better chance if I find Ash. What is he snooping about?
Perhaps I should try the forest, make a round farther into the gardens? Not a sound plan, but it's better than nothing. The woman's soft sobs have subsided now by some means, almost inaudible to the point where I'm wondering if I truly heard what I heard. I didn't get to dwell much on it, though, because right in that moment my phone rings, thank God. The sharp notes cutting piercing through the thick white tube. Ah, I clap a hand over it, pressing the button before the speakers are close to my ear.
Are you?
Wow. I only caught the tail end of the person's greeting on the other side, but I know the voice well enough.
What was that, Ash? Could you repeat that? Signal shitty here.
I asked, where are you? Hell, Zach, I've been calling your number for a good 20 minutes now. What kind of shithole did you get into?
Good morning to you, too. I should be asking you that question. I've been looking all over the mansion for you. I thought you'd be...
What mansion?
Do I really need to answer that?
Why are you even... No, wait.
Yeah.
Just get your ass here at Isabella's place and hurry.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, this bothered me so much. Like, this place is the last place he could be at, because he could have gone to his house. You could have also gone to Isabella's house, but no, let's come here because sure enough he's working on this case, so he would be here. But no, it's a bad idea altogether. Even, oh my god, even with the, if Hana would have survived, yeah. damn bad idea. I shift my gaze into the mansion, specifically at the window I heard the cries from. There is nothing of it now, not even echoes. Yeah, so that was a bad end. Oof. Or maybe a path to something worse. Maybe let's see if this one is also a path to worse or not.
How urgent is this?
Pressing enough for you to stop asking questions and get yourself here. Please, Zach.
That gives me a pause. It's a rare thing for him to take on that door.
I'll be there in a
Sorry,
few.
door.
An hour or two tops.
Thanks. I'll see you.
I rush back to my bike as soon as the call ends. Without another look, I leave the mansion along with its haunting melodies and grim echoes behind. There are more important things than my own curiosity and impulses. Oh, okay, 3 dots. 3 dots again. Wait, what? And again, for this very ending only, to get till here, although it is not required, but you gotta have to have, or I personally have gotten these choices in the first 2 chapters. Yeah, and the dialogues that I will get in these 2 endings will be according to these choices that I've gotten in the first 2 chapters, which are somewhere on the screen as you can see right now. Yeah, so let's finally dive into this decision of something new, not this one which we did last time, that is to look into it. Oh boy, I'm gonna have fun going for all the bad ends now, intentionally. Alrighty, I can search for Ash, but what if it's too late by then? With how big this place is, he can be anywhere, and it's very likely by the time we come back, someone's already bit the dust. That and the cries grow louder against my ear the longer I linger. Almost impossible to ignore, drawing me in like a moth to a flame. For a moment, I let myself shudder, shaking the uneasy feeling off my hand. This can't be a good idea, not by a long shot. But you're still gonna go for it because I chose to do so. Still, I've gotta try. Searching takes a while. Eventually, I find a branch with the right distance and height to reach the window. Climbing the tree to get to it, however, is a whole different story altogether. I haven't done that since I was a school kid, but even then, it's a struggle for me. I do manage to make it work somehow. After a hard battle, a few bruises and scrapes to my arms, I'm hoisting myself up the window and falling right through the room when the panel suddenly gives. Ooh, awful putrid smell assaults me before the pain from the fall itself, and I have to fight the urge to puke right there. And what welcomes me as soon as I collect myself from the floor and open my eyes only serves to push the vomit up my throat.
Miss.
Oh, we just landed up in the children's room where, if you remember, in the very last episode only, Luke had stashed Hannah's body in this children's room where we are right now at, and wow, we found it.
Miss Hannah?
Paleness has overtaken her body, her limbs and face beginning to bloat. And blood. So much blood. Yep, that's thanks to Luke and my choice. How many hours has it been? But oh! Yeah, I guess you get this ending or this choose of route if you are, or if you have done what I've done in chapter 2. Yeah, so let's continue. This is interesting. I would have approached her, but the foul smell permeating the room says all there is I need to know. She's been long gone. There's nothing I can do. I try not to gag, not to touch anything, my feet automatically backing away from the small pool of blood at her feet, from the bare walls, void of any colors except for the words, "Help me." And oh, panic quickly surges in me. One of all the moments to be here. Wrong place, wrong time. Great. I've got to call someone. Ash, the authorities, anyone.
She's dead. She's dead. God damn it, she's dead.
Someone has to. Ooh, no. A voice shatters at my feet. The sound of glass breaking, renting through the thick foul air, sharp and cutting, but none of it sinks in. not even the crunch of glass under my shoes as I take an uneasy step to steady myself. Instead, all I hear is the sound of footsteps and shuffling outside, their very urgency at odds with hammering of my heart against my ribs. You got after hard. Uh-oh. There is no comfort, no escape when the door opens. Mr. Luke Breitbart is in the room, wide-eyed and seething with fury.
There should be a law against noise this early in the morning.
His eyes shift from me to Miss Hannah and to the mess of blood and the shards on the floor. It doesn't take long for him to put two and two together, easy for me to see what conclusion he got. I opened my mouth, trying to weave some semblance of coherence amidst the cloud of panic and fear in my head. He's thinking that he's gonna put the blame on me for killing her? No, I mean he's gonna, considering how of a sly guy he is, but let's see how he will handle the situation.
Hannah? Hannah, darling? Buttercup? Love? Speak to me.
I know this looks bad.
You! What did you do?
Wow, he acted so good. He instantly, in a split second, I'm not gonna act like as if, I've just shown my true colors of being a murderer of my own wife. I'm just gonna act like, you did this! Wow, Luke. There is no question in that. Only an accusation.
I know this looks really bad, standing here in your house with a dead body, but I can explain.
You killed her! You ones! Get in here!
Mr. Wright, this ain't what it is. Outside, there was a noise. Someone's crying.
You killed her! Hannah! Oh, Hannah! My lovely, beautiful Hannah! I knew you were bad news the moment you showed up here!
You have to believe me, sir. It wasn't me. I swear to God, it wasn't.
Oh wow. For a moment, there is only silence and ache, and the room abruptly tilting on its axis, dimming.
Call the police! Get rid of this rubbish!
Certainly. Really be having tea this morning? Bring it to my study. And clean out that awful stench.
Darkness falls. Oh boy, the story continues. The pain is the worst when I come to a sharp, piercing ache somewhere at the back of my head, begging to be noticed. But it's nothing I can't handle. Fearfully, I open my eyes, expecting to be greeted by sunlight. But no, we are in the jail. However, the walls that welcome me are unfamiliar. Yep, curiosity killed the cat. Or Zach. When everything comes into focus, I recognize the place for what it is. A cell. Dark, cramped, with the only light coming from the moon outside, streaming through the sole window paired by thick metal bars. Memory rushes back to me in sharp bursts. The mansion, looking for Ashton, a familiar tune, and a woman crying. All while my head still aches from the hit I have received.
Still better than a morgue, I guess.
Gingerly, I pull myself up, stretching the cramps from my shoulder as I do so, but stopping when a sudden movement induces an acute stinging pain right through my arm.
Damn, they got me good. What time is it?
As expected, they have taken everything I have on my person. Wallet, cell phone, my keys, meds, even a small pack of gum. Protocol is protocol. In the first place, ending back in another cell in my agenda. The first time was not a pleasant experience, and this certainly won't be either. Considering who has likely put me in here, it could be much worse. The bars are cold to my touch when I approach it, looking for the person on duty. They usually allow us to contact someone, and Ashton at least has to know I'm here. He will be pissed that I am quite sure of, but he's the only one who can help prove my innocence and get me out. However much I don't want to rely on him for this. The hallway in front of the cell is empty, but voices float through from further in, likely the poor officers assigned to late night duty. Judging from the snippets of conversation I catch, today's topic over a snack is that moron who thought it's wise to cross the brides. They used other names too, most of which I will likely to have words with them about in the future. But really, I'm in no position right now.
Excuse me? Anyone?
Let's see, silence.
Excuse me? I need to make a...
Uh-oh. Blood freezes in my veins and my grip on the bar tightens as the revolting scent reaches my nose. More than the dough, the foul smell of death hangs heavily in the air. And against my better judgment, I turn. Oh, her face is the first thing I see. A gruesome sight on its own, eyes gleaming with nothing but malevolence, blood oozing from the large, punctured wound on her head, mouth open wide in a voiceless scream. I clamped on the compulsion to retch. On instinct, I step back, putting as much distance as this cramped cell will allow between us. Though we are locked, so the bars rattle as soon as my shoulders hit it. A hindrance, not to freedom, but to safety.
Get away from me!
She moves, in short, sudden bone-crunching twitches. And I know there is no escape. I'm screaming for help before I know it, jolting the bars with as much force as I could.
Somebody, get me out of here! Anyone, please!
Bugger off! Some people are trying to get some sleep here!
No! She's here! You've got to let me out! She's gonna kill me! Someone! She's...
Boy, we are done. Alrighty, ooh, you have unlocked a memory fragment, and this does not seem like a good memory fragment right here. That, yep, Princess Charlotte is the evil one right here. Like, the maid saw her doing the thing, and now, yeah, damn it. Okay, so we got our first really bad end. I will say, oh my god. See, I told you, it was a pretty obvious dead end. I obviously knew how it was gonna go. But what I don't know now that, this possibility got done, the fact that, hey, in my chapter, Hana is dead, so I think the situation would go something like this. How will it go now? The fact that, you gotta have to do some changes in chapter 2 for the next end to get, which is up right here. Yeah, if you have killed Hana off in the chapter though, in her chapter, then you will get this very end. Yeah, I don't know how exactly this to unlock, but I will definitely do so in the multiple roots chapter. Yeah, definitely in that. But for now, let's move on to our next ending, which is up right here. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, so since I'm going for a little change over here, the fact that I'm doing changes in the previous chapter and doing this new end that we are going for now, so if there comes any new dialogues, I will go for it. So yep, here is a new dialogue, so let's go for it. And don't worry, I will show this same scene in the multiple roots episode, so yeah, you are not missing out on anything in that episode too if you are watching it right here. So let's go. Ever since he was asked by a couple to bless their new home before moving in, this is the first time in days he's left his room. No surprise there. With the weird heat lately, even Rebecca caught something. Nervous little chap, the kid. Nevertheless, he leads me close to the foot of the dais with a reminder not to stay too long before walking off. Seconds later, father shifts and stands. He doesn't seem to have noticed me, and I have to give him a little tap on the shoulder. Okay, there was only one new dialogue over there, everything other than the dad being little same. Yeah, everything else was same, just that one little dialogue was something different.
Just so you know, I already apologized for the one at the movie house.
Okay, this is something new.
Granted, she deserved more of an apology, but I meant it that time.
I'm just asking. I'll take your word for it. But if you can find out what's bothering her, that'd be nice. Honestly, I don't think it's the letter this time.
Okay, this is quite the same, so let's move. Interesting how that one little change in Hana's chapter caused this change over here, which is something different. But hey, this time there's something different as well, because this time it's not cries, this time it's a little hum of ours coming from the mansion. Wow, from a room in the first floor. A single window is open, but I can't make out whoever's inside. Okay, so that one dialogue was the new dialogue, where I guess it did not start off with the cry, but with the humming. Oh boy, so yeah, let's now go for the choice, the very obvious bad choice. So let's go. I can search for Ash, but what if it's too late by then? With how big this place is, he can be anywhere, and it's very likely by the time we come back, someone's already bite the test. And now let's see what's gonna differ. Oh, okay. That and the cries grow louder against my ear the longer I linger. Almost impossible to ignore, drawn me in like a moth. Yeah, it's a little bit still the same though. Yeah. Funnily enough, for a couple as high profile as the Brights, they don't seem to have any security detail patrolling around. Yeah, this time because they don't have to take care of a body now. A few guards here and there, sure, but one will expect they will have more considering the size of the place. It works to my advantage though, and I really can't complain when there's a high chance I might get arrested for what I'm about to do. Luckily, the window's wide enough for me to fit through without making any noise. There's certainly no going back now. But as soon as I step into the parlor, not the children's room, all of it ceases, while I find no trace of the woman I heard crying like I'm expecting to. The room is still empty at this time of the morning, and I'm still left standing awkwardly in the middle of the hush. Maybe she just hid somewhere?
Hello? Are you here? I heard someone earlier, and I'm here to help.
Hoping for an answer, I let the question hang in the air. But several seconds merely go by without a word, or the slightest movement to indicate there is someone in here. Has been here. With the stories I've heard, the things I've seen, it takes effort to keep my brain from going into that line of thought.
I'm not going to hurt you. If you're here, say something.
Nothing. Am I just hearing things? No, I'm pretty sure I heard someone. But with no one responding, I can't help but feel silly like this. And the awareness that I've just trespassed a house for nothing because of some voice prickles at me. Suddenly the silence feels uncomfortable and a needling anxiety slowly creeps up my back. I should get out while I can. If it ain't there, it ain't there. I don't spare the room another glance when I walk back the way I came. Out into the window, leave before someone else notices.
I thought I heard a servant moving around here. Turns out it's just a rat scurrying about. How unpleasant.
My heart shoots up into my throat. I can run. The window is a few steps away. I should be able to escape. No, don't. I guess don't. But let's see. But instead, out of some foolish impulse, I turn around. Perhaps it's because the only impression the guy has left me in what few times we met is nothing but unsettling.
This ain't what you think it is.
You're quite the distance from the kitchen, I'm afraid. Perhaps I should lead you there.
Someone's in here before me. I wasn't here for what you're thinking. There was sobbing and...
Oh! The first blow knocks the wind out of me, sending me heaving and crumpling to my knees. Wow, he's a pro in this one. I mean, he is trained for this thing only. Tears well up in my eyes as the pain swells when he twists my wrists behind my back.
You've gotta listen to me.
Then again, dirty thieves aren't welcome in my kitchen either.
Ow! For a moment, there is only silence and a sudden piercing ache, this time at the back of my head. Ooh, the room abruptly tilts on its axis, dimming. On the verge of unconsciousness, I can only hear the scuffling of foot, the third of the door being closed, and a woman crying, asking for help. I know no more. Okay, it's the next day. Are we again in the jail? The pain is the worst when I come to a sharp, piercing ache somewhere at the back of my head, begging to be noticed. But it's nothing I can't handle. Barely I open my eyes, expecting to be greeted by sunlight. But we are back in the jail! Ah! Wow, you end up both ways in the jail. Oh. Alrighty. Yeah, let's see what's gonna be different. Okay, so this one's the same. Okay. Alrighty, so yeah, all of them are new this time. I think it's just pissed because they often put the local police in a bad light. Although with a life as public as the bride's, no wonder it's the woman who often gets the crappy end of the stick. I can't help but feel sorry for her. She's a real nice person when given a chance. Heck, she might have even ended up being friends with Rebecca and Isabella too, which she kinda does, if they weren't living worlds apart. But yeah, I guess now it's the same. Oh, she was nice enough to ask after all, and was a good companion up until the awkward turn our little chit chat has taken. Oh yeah, that's thanks to my little oh boy, yeah, that's little thanks to my choice that I have done in this one. Even if she didn't ask, I would have probably given her a few prints just for the heck of it. This ride ain't such a bad subject matter to begin with. And maybe this is just me, but for someone who has everything at the palm of her hands, all the money in the world, a loving husband, and a plenty big mansion to call home, she is lonely. She doesn't just appear like it. It shows in the tone of her voice, how she moves, and more certainly in her smiles, always hidden behind the glamour for the world to never see. Sometimes for people like her, small things like this helps a little reminder that the world can be too kind. Can be kind, not too sorry. Yeah, like that changed the whole thing over there. Water drips from the paper as I blindly pick it up, and I guess now it's quite the same. So yeah, let's move on. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Blood freezes in my veins and my grip on the bar tightens. Okay, so yeah, this time around I chose the first, or yeah, I got myself the first ending, that is where Hana becomes the evil Hana, where she wears that necklace and becomes the deadly, ghostly male version of Hana, or like creepy Hana, you will say, yeah. So yeah, I got that ending, and it has changed some stuff up over here. So let's see what's the new thing now. Blood freezes in my veins and my grip on the bar tightens, because that one we did where the same thing in the Hana chapter. I got myself the true ending and then got to this point. It leads up to the same thing where we get the memory fragment, but this time let's see if it's gonna be any different though. I don't dare turn, because more than the haunting melody, I'm afraid of what I will see, of who's singing Ma's lovely lullaby. A dead song, that's what it is now. But I guess that is what it has always been. If this is the end's calling, I'd prefer that it is not her vicious smile that I see last.
Oh, Zach, sweetie, don't you love this song?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. My head snaps up in surprise and I swivel to see Miss Wright. Miss Wright of all people, sitting on the cot. Her smile as easy and sweet as ever.
Miss Wright, what are you... how did you...
Yep, she has become the ghost now. I jostle the cell door to check. A prison break is the last thing on my mind, of course, but her presence here begs for a lot of puzzling questions to be answered. locked tight. Was I just too groggy earlier that I didn't notice her?
Don't be surprised, darling. Money and power can get you anything.
She has a point. Out of all people, she knows more than anyone how to play that game in the world. Yet to hear it straight out of her, it's like talking to a different person. Yep, she is a different person. She is the ghost. Or we still don't know what the real identity of the ghost is. Is it the maid or is it Princess Charlotte? Because yeah, we even see her little turning into the ghost form of her though. So yeah, that is still a thing we have not known, but we will get to know in one of these memory fragments and multiple ends. Yeah. Okay, so I don't bring this up. However, perhaps she's just having a bad day or a tiff with her husband after the incident the other day at their party. Well, I don't like gossip, but it won't be surprising. Anyone can say the strangest things when in a bad mood. Still and all,
You ain't supposed to be here, Miss Wright.
Why ever not? Isn't it comfortable here?
Well, it is, kind of. But you're still not supposed to be on this side of the cell. Besides, it's too early. Or too late for a visit. This is beyond the scheduled hours.
Oh, I'm sure Chief Inspector Lee wouldn't mind a little chat between friends.
I'm not sure if he has still not noticed how her eyes are little pale, whitey, and her hair is little not so much colory.
Besides, his prison officers just snoring in the break room.
She brushes off a lock of hair from her shoulders, stands up and meanders around the length of cell for whatever space it would allow. As if this is just a simple stroll in the park, making a show of checking every scratch the past occupants of the room has left on its walls. Nevertheless, I try to make myself small against the corner. Any closer and we will be crossing each other's personal spaces. Frankly, that's more than I'm comfortable with.
Be that as it may, they have cameras here too. How are you going to explain that when they check?
That doesn't matter, dear.
It does. Your popularity ain't going to give you any kind of immunity from the law. I appreciate the visit, but I'd rather not see you get into trouble.
It makes her stop. But just as I'm starting to think I've finally reasoned with her,
You don't want to get out of here.
Of course I do. But you don't have to do anything. It's my fault. I'll find a way out of this mess.
You did bring it to yourself.
This really is just a misunderstanding, Hannah. I didn't mean to trespass. If you'll just listen to the whole story, you'll know I didn't mean to do it.
I'm really disappointed in you.
I look straight at her at the sudden change of her tone, checking for any signs if I've upset her with what I did. Of course she would be. She has every right to. After all that talk, the little attempts to build a friendship, here I went and broke into another person's house. Her home. On so many levels, beyond any kind of friendship, it's still wrong. Her anger doesn't come as I'm expecting it to, however. Instead, she smiles. Oh, that's the worst part. That's the worst part. A horrid little smile I didn't think I'd ever see from her.
Breaking into our home. Disturbing my love in his sleep.
Ah boy, look at her.
You've upset my Prince Zack. You've really upset him.
Hannah?
Panic swells in me, ripping up my spine. Irrational, I know, you shouldn't feel this way about anyone you know. But here I am backing away, trying to keep an ample distance between the two of us. Oh boy, I'm afraid, wholly afraid of her. This ain't Hannah. The bars rattle as soon as my shoulders hit it. A hindrance, not to freedom but to safety,
Has
it's
anyone
quite
ever
the
told
same.
you how beautiful those eyes of yours are?
My Nana? Occasionally my sister. Hannah? You alright?
She laughs, a deranged little thing coming from her. There's no cheer in it, no warmth, only spite.
Makes me want to take them home, wrap them in those pretty ribbons I have in my vanity. I'm pretty sure my prince would love it, don't you think, Zachary? A little gift from me.
Stay away from me!
She moves. In short, sudden bone crunching twitches that are too painful for me to watch. I want to look away, but I can't. I'm screaming for help before I know it, jolting the bars with as much force as I could.
Somebody, get me out of here! Anyone, please!
Bugger off! Some people are trying to get some sleep here!
No! She's here! You've got to let me out! She's gonna kill me! Someone! She's...
Oh, you poor thing. Don't you worry. You won't even feel the pain.
Let's see about that. Oh, yep. She's twitching. What beautiful eyes you have. Oh boy, did she just ripped my eyeballs off? Wait, again? Did we just again ended up on the same thing, or is this different? Okay, no, this one is a different. This one is surely a different. Yeah, I gotta have to see about this one, but that will be for the all branch route episode. So yeah, with that, we are done with all the endings in chapter 3, Zachary's chapter, where if you choose to keep looking for Ash, then yeah, you just get a call from Ash and then boom, game over. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. Then it just ends right there only. But if you don't, if you be a little stupid and go for let's open the window and go into their mansion, which is an obvious thing to not to do, you end up in two ways, where you get killed off in the cell by the ghost herself, or you get killed by the ghost herself, except in Hana's body this time. Yeah, or Hana herself being over here in the form of the ghost. Yeah, which is the death only, but in a different way. With that, we are done with all the 3 endings that are there in this chapter. So yeah, next time will be all routes that you could possibly take in this chapter, the new dialogues if you take this route and everything. And yeah, that will be in the next episode. So if you like this episode, if you were like, wow, those endings were amazing, yeah, and my commentary was also a little amazing, then you can like click that like button. You can also subscribe for more awesome content. You can also comment down below your thoughts, and I will see you guys in the next video. So goodbye and Shabakar.